examine himself. Take the time to examine himself. We do that every day. When we wake, we make sure we are presentable before we present ourselves to the world. So we're doing the work of examining our heart condition before we present ourselves, so to speak, to the table to eat. They used to tell us, wash your hands before you come to the table. Just making sure that you move that so it would not contaminate the. We are looking at our heart, and God does receive us where we are and how our heart is, but we want to make sure our heart is receptive. Looking at the condition of our heart, and then are we doing the work to make receiving now and the truths that He's going to tell later? So we know whether we'll be receptive to what we hear now, and based on the condition of our heart and the posture of our heart, will we be receptive of we will hear later on? We have to value the teacher, value the instructions, the truth of the word that we hear, and so the Lord has set the stage to examine the heart, or for the person to examine the heart to see whether going to be receptive later on, or let the person examine, am I going to be receptive later on for the truth? We typically say, one of the things that I say is, truth be told, A, B, C, and D. If I hear this and I believe this, then I'm ready to hear something else. I ought to be ready and in the place to hear something else. And then the second thing that this parable separates those who want just the word and from those who want Jesus as the word. I can hear information, but do I want him? Do I want to be in relationship? Remember, because he's not just the word, he's talking about himself through the word. Do I want him, or do I just want something that's going to, so to speak, am I going to be blessed later on? Do I just want to be blessed? Do I just want to hear? Do I just want to hear? It's not enough just to hear that. I want to be in relationship with the Lord so that I can really apply the portion of the scripture for fear evil, because he is with me. I don't just want the word, I want Jesus. Anybody believe that? I want Jesus. So the wayside heart is the path we talked about last week. It used to be soft, but it is hard, or has got hard through disappointments, through pain, through abuse, through trauma. At no time when the Lord talks about any of the hearts does he are just talking about the condition of receptiveness. He's not talking about anybody who has turned their back on God. In this place, as he's talking about the heart is soft. When they talked about the ground, is not cement like we look at it. It used to be hard or soft ground, but worn because it has had access to it. We know that if certain things happen to us in our lives, sometimes, if depending upon how bad the pain is, we guard ourselves that we'll never experience that pain again. hear the word. The enemy, of course, because he is predatory and because hell is on alert, he is looking. And so when that hits the hard ground, he snap. Remember the word talks about how when the seed hits the ground, the birds come and snatch it away. And he told them that's Satan. He's looking to see what word didn't penetrate. So every time we hear word, we ought to tell God from my heart, help me hide the word. I might not need it today, but help me hide it. Help me. My dad used to take us to flea markets and to what they used to call rummage sales. Somebody said junk is another man's treasure. My dad really walked that out, and he would find discarded, make sure that it was polished well. So I say somebody else didn't need it, but he found a need for it. And sometimes when we see stuff, we see things. Oh, I might not need it today. I could go buy a winter shoe. We used to shop in the summertime or fall as it got closer to the winter period. The season was about to go out, and they would put the winter items on sale. We would buy them. My parents would buy them for us. We learned to do this. We weren't going to need it for where we were going into, but the season was coming back around again, right? All right. So knows that if we do not value the word, if we allow ourselves to wander, you can be setting yourself to prayer and a phone call will come. You could be setting yourself to get into the word, and the enemy will distract your mind about something you forgot to do yesterday. He'll pull you away in that place, and that distraction is what he uses to keep us from grabbing the word. And the good thing about electronics that we have, you can press real life. If I missed it, if God has ever showed you something, told you something, and you weren't paying attention and you missed it, you're not guaranteed to get that back again. So we want to be praying for it. So the remedy is, can a hardened heart be changed? Just like he asked Abraham, is there anything too hard for God? I'm so glad that when I was in the test and I was in the trial, and there were periods of times where I said, I don't want to hear no. I'm tired of hearing about God gonna deliver me, God gonna get me through, because I'm still in it, and I feel like I've been in it long enough. I want to get out. I was hardened at that moment. Anybody know what I'm talking about with that? And touched my heart. And he came in, and God talks to you and seasons you, lets you simmer. He'll let us simmer, and he'll let us, so to speak, have an attitude. You remember Jonah? He was mad because God was going to save. God was so merciful to him that he used him, and Jonah forgot going down into the belly of the whale. Gave him another chance, because the first time he was going to Tarshish instead of down to Jericho. Am I right? Nineveh, thank you, Nineveh. And gave him another chance. And after he preached the word, God gave him a bush to sit under. And he was angry, one, because he knew God was going to give them another. So I'm like, man, you on rocky ground. You are really messed up. He had hard because he didn't like the Ninevites. And then God allowed a worm to come and eat the bush, destroy the plant. And he was mad about that than he was happy about God delivering the people. So because of that, and in that place, it's a hardened heart. But thank God we don't find it in the end of the story or further on Jonah ever changed, but we do get to see what a hardened heart looks like. All right. So can God change it? Yes, God can change the hardened heart. All right. Sometimes it's painful that God got to do. Sometimes it's a work that he has to do in us to break us down so that we can hear. He loves us so much that if it's going to hurt us, he'll administer the pain just so we'll be broken and hear the word. All right. So write down Hosea chapter number 10, verse number 12. He said, Hosea says, sow to yourselves in righteousness, reap in mercy, break up fallow ground. You can break up the hard ground. And if it's too much for us to break it up, because God loves us so much, he will do the breaking. My advice is, he said, humble yourself, therefore, under the mighty hand of God. My advice is, don't ask God to, don't take too long humbling yourself, because when it comes, woo, it's not something that you can manage. It's not you think we can, but we don't know what God will do, because he does not work. My thoughts are not your thoughts, neither my ways are your ways. He doesn't do it like we do it, right? All right, so he said, break up the fallow ground, for it is time. There's a time to seek God. I appreciate him, because there's a time that we wait, and then there's a time to after God. And so he said, do that. Then God does that. James 4 and 7. Write down James 4, 7, and 8. Then resist the devil. Come under the authority of God. Relinquish the hold. Take down the wall. Say yes. Don't that make sense? To say yes to God. Since he saved us, he really does mean the best for us. So submit yourself unto God. Resist the devil, and will flee from us. And then 8a says, draw nigh unto God, and he will draw nigh unto you. God, I'm on my way. God, I recognize I didn't do it. God, my heart's been hardened. Please admit if you have a hardened heart. Please admit if you don't like it, and tell God, you know what? Tell God if it's hard and you don't want to let go. Tell God I don't want to let go. Tell God I want to hold on to this, but the creating in me a clean heart, tell him that. I don't want to let go, but give me a clean heart. Create my heart so that I can receive your word. Because I don't want to miss not only what you have for me here, I don't want to miss, remember we said at the very beginning, this is deciding what other truths you're going to tell me am I going to hear. I want to hear the other truths that you have for me. That is the remedy, that we would humble ourselves, that we would draw nigh to God, that we could seek him, and wants us to seek him. And in seeking him in that time, we can thank God for the times that he waited for us. We can thank God for the time with us until we can feel him again. I don't know about you, but I've been in the place where Job said, I looked for him and I couldn't find him. The test could be so hard to find him, but also in your minds that we